You cannot 10x your business by working more hours. Like, it's impossible. You cannot 10x the number of hours that you work unless you're working 4 hours a week right now for your business. Then maybe you can. But beyond that, it's impossible. So you have to find leverage points that allow you to scale.
What were some of the lessons, I guess, top three lessons that you learned making that transition from running a small agency to then having a huge coaching business, like a huge course slash group coaching business?
I'm only going to spend my time doing the things that I love doing and that I'm really good at. And everything else has to be done by other people. And they have to have that same match. So we don't have people just do stuff on the team because stuff needs to be done. Everybody does things in their own zone of genius because every person has a different zone of genius. And so my team works within their zone of genius always. That was one. So I could spend my time doing what I love to do, which is marketing, sales, and coaching. And like, I want to do those things only. I don't want to do any customer service, no admin, no operations, none of that. And I won't work in that space. Second tier is that the most profitable businesses are simple. So we got rid of doing 12,000 different things. And we have one model and we call it the Apex Accelerator. Everybody's going on the same customer journey. They come into me via social media or speaking or other lead gen. They are invited to a webinar. They are offered a course. The course comes with a ticket to a virtual workshop. The virtual workshop invites them to coaching. My coaching has 3 levels. That's it. So everything I do is going to put people in the same path. So I'm not spread too thin trying to operate multiple channels. And we can spend all of our time on the lead generation and marketing aspect for this one campaign. That is amazing because that changed things a lot. And then the third thing is profit comes from the second sale. So focusing on the customer journey, not on the lead gen journey solely, which is what most businesses do, but how do we optimize step 2, step 3, step 4, and where do we want them to go? So before you and I got started, I shared with you that I was doing a VIP day with somebody. That would be the very top of my Apex Accelerator is my elite level. And elite level, they pay me $40,000 a year each. It's all group coaching, except they do get a VIP day with me on the front end of that offer. And that is the only level that gets any one-on-one time with me, but that it creates an ascension model that gives me lots of great content I can share. And it also created a model that I can have that level of coaching without it, spreading my time too thin.
Yeah, that's actually quite brilliant. I think it's super brave to offer something like that. In fact, I would be curious to know, what have you learned after offering these VIP days? To be like, what are some of the insights you've collected?
I've systematized them, and that systems and process will only come from doing the work. So like, if you feel overwhelmed by this concept, like I don't have any of those things in place, you just start doing it. And then you start finding models that make it more streamlined. And so when I do a VIP day, our coaching basically teaches people how to take their expertise, turn it into a webinar, and turn that webinar into an automated system that delivers results for them. That's basically what my overall coaching does. And at the different levels, you're getting different access to me to get that end product done. And so on a day like today, I'm letting them brain dump all of their content. I'm building it into a proprietary framework. I'm building out outline of their slides. And I can do this now in a step-by-step streamlined process that they get a really great result at the end, but it's not taxing on me. And it's something that if you do something on a repetitive basis that people can benefit from, there's a possibility of you having your own process and strategy there that you can build into a course, a group coaching program, and a VIP day. And I've done this over and over again with people. And we almost think of it as like second nature, but it's stuff that's second nature to you because this is what you do. And if you can do it for them in a way that scales it, you could serve so many more people with something that can help them.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody who's listening to this and they do have some sort of a skill or product or service or book or something like that, and they are stuck in that cycle of having to close their own sales, deliver on what they sold, and go feast or famine lead generate, speak, and then come back and try to deal with that mess. How what I mean, you probably lived that. So what can you share with them from the other side of the mountain?
You cannot 10x your business by working more hours. Like it's impossible. You cannot 10x the number of hours that you work unless you're working 4 hours a week right now for your business. Then maybe you can, but beyond that, it's impossible. So you have to find leverage points that allow you to scale. I started with the lead generation component by creating the webinar, My Leads and Sales. A webinar would sell clients in the door. But then after that, we were still delivering one-on-one services. So then we took what we were delivering and said, how can we systematize that? So we created this onboarding process for clients that would automate everything, every question they would answer, put their strategy in place. That created an automation system, and then said, okay, how can we automate and systematize the delivery of the service? And that we started looking at everybody could go through the marketing campaign creation at the same time in a group setting. So we really just started taking each piece and saying, how could we? And if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I can't, I challenge your brain to think, how could I? And what's the first thing that you could do in this way? And just start in a step-by-step process for taking what you do right now and finding a way to reach many people at one time and automate the entire process.
All right. Well, thank you. I know you got a book coming up, book launch coming up, right?
Yeah, well, we had 2 books come out this year, and because two separate publishers who decide to release them within 2 months of each other, which is not a recommended strategy for keeping your sanity, but that's what happened. And my first book that came out this year is called The Shift: How to Scale Your Business, Multiply Your Wealth Without Sacrificing You, and it's available on all book purveyors and on Audible. And I am interviewed in that book by Justin Guarini from American Idol. We have a lot of fun and a lot of fun aside. So it's a fun book to listen to. And the second one that came out this year is the newest version of the Ultimate Guide to Instagram for Business. And it walks you step by step how to use Instagram to scale your company.
Awesome. So I'm assuming that's also available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and stuff like that.
It is available on all those sites. It's not available on Audible yet. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to do this, especially in the middle of your VIP day. We'll let you go, and until next time we chat, have a good one.
I would like to give one quick shout out, because if you're listening to this podcast, you're a podcast listener. So can I mention my podcast?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's called the Scale Fast Podcast. So if you like this kind of content all around scaling your business, we'd love for you to tune in. It's called the Scale Fast Podcast.
Awesome. So that's Scale Fast Podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and all the other platforms.